Another curious scientific phenomenon is the fact that the fingernails grow after death, as does the beard. What? Beard. But you're not dead. I didn't say they started to grow after death. The fingernails also grow before birth, though not the beard. What? Beard. What's the matter with you? The toenails, on the other hand, never grow at all. The toenails never grow at all. Do they? It's a funny thing. I cut my fingernails all the time, and every time I think to cut them, they need cutting. Now, for instance, and yet I never, to the best of my knowledge, cut my toenails. They ought to be curled under my feet by now, but it doesn't happen. I never think about them. Perhaps I cut them absent-mindedly when I'm thinking of something else. Do you remember the first thing that happened today? I woke up, I suppose. Oh, I got it now. That man, a foreigner, he woke us up. A messenger. At the pale sky before dawn, a man standing on his saddle to bang on the shutters, shouts, "What's all the row about? Clear off." But then he called our names. You remember that. This man woke us up. Yes. We were sent for. Yes, that's why we're here. Traveling. Yes. It was urgent, a matter of extreme urgency, a royal summons. His very words. Official business and no questions asked. Lights in the stable yard, saddle up and off headlong, and hot foot across the land, our guides outstripped in breakneck pursuit of our duty, fearful lest we come too late. Too late for what? How do I know? We haven't got there yet. Then what are we doing here, I ask myself. You might well ask. We better get on. You might well think. We better get on. Right. On where? Forward. Ah! Which way do we... Practically starting from scratch. An awakening, a man standing on his saddle, a bang on the shutters, our names shouted and a certain dawn, a message, a summons, a new record for heads and tails. We have not been picked out, simply to be abandoned, set loose to find our own way. We are entitled to some direction, I would have thought. I say, yes? I can hear. I thought I heard music. Yes? Like a band. It sounded like a band. Drum. Yes. It couldn't have been real. The colors red, blue, and green are real. The color yellow is a mystical experience shared by everybody. Demolished. It must have been thunder, like drums. A man breaking his journey between one place and another at a third place of no name, character, population, or significance, sees a unicorn cross his path and disappear. That in itself is startling. But there are precedents for mystical encounters of various kinds, or to be less extreme, a choice of persuasions to put it down to fancy, until, my God, says a second man, I must be dreaming, I thought I saw a unicorn, at which point a dimension is added that makes the experience as alarming as it will ever be. A third witness, you understand, adds no further dimension, but only spreads it thinner, and a fourth thinner still, and the more witnesses there are, the thinner it gets, and the more reasonable it becomes, until it is as thin as reality. The name we give to the common experience. Look, look, recites the crowd, a horse with an arrow in its forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer. I knew all along it was a band. He knew all along it was a band. Here they come. I'm sorry, it wasn't a unicorn. It would have been nice to have unicorns. Halt. An audience. Don't move. Perfect. A lucky thing we came along. For us? Let us hope so. But to meet two gentlemen on the road, we would not hope to meet them often. No? Well met, in fact, and just in time. Why is that? Why, we grow rusty and you catch us at the very point of decadence. By this time tomorrow, we might have forgotten everything we ever knew. That's a thought, isn't it? We'd be back where we started. Improvising. Tumblers, are you? We can give you a tumble if that's your taste, and times being what they are. Otherwise, for a jingle of coin, we can do you a selection of gory romances full of fine cadence and corpses, piloted them from the Italian, and it doesn't take much to make a jingle. Even a single coin has music in it. Tragedians, at your command. My name is Guildenstern, and this is Rosencrantz. A pleasure. We've played to bigger, of course, but quality counts for something, I recognize at once. And who are we? As fellow artists, I thought we were gentlemen. For some of us it is performance, for others patronage. They are two sides of the same coin, or let us say, being as there are so many of us, the same side of two coins. Don't clap too loudly, it's a very old world. What is your line? Tragedy, deaths and disclosures, universal and particular, denouements, both unexpected and absorbable, transvestite melodrama at all levels, including the suggestive. We transport you into a world of intrigue and illusion, clowns, if you like, murderers. We can do you ghosts in battles on the skirmish level, heroes, villains, tormented lovers, set pieces in the poetic vein. We can do you rapiers, or rape, or both, or, by all means, faithless wives and ravished virgins. Flagrante delicto at a price, but that comes under realism, for which there are special victims carrying home, am I? Well, I don't know. It costs little to watch, and little more if you happen to get caught up in the action, if that's your taste and times being what they are. What are they? Indifferent. Bad? Wicked. Now, what precisely is your pleasure? Gentlemen, disport yourself. See anything you like? What do they do? Let your imagination run riot. They are beyond surprise. And how much? To take part? To watch. Watch what? A private performance. How private? Well, there are only two of us. Is that enough? For an audience disappointing, Pavoya's about average. What's the difference? 10 guilders. 10 guilders. I mean 8. Together? Each. I don't think you understand. What are you saying? What am I saying? 7. Where have you been? Roundabout. Nest of children carries the custom of the town juvenile company. They are the fashion, but they cannot match our repertoire. We'll stoop to anything if that's your bent. They'll grow up. There's one born every minute. Onward. Where are you going? Oh, home, sir. Where from? Home. We're traveling people. We take our chances where we find them. It was chance then. Chance? You found it. Oh, yes. You were looking. Oh, no. Chance then. Or fate. Yours or ours. Could hardly be one without the other. Fate then. Oh, yes. We have no control. Tonight we play to the court, or the night after, or to the tavern, or perhaps I can use my influence. At the tavern? At the court, I would say I have some influence. Would you say so? I have influence, yet. Yet what? I have influence. You said something about getting caught up in the action. I did. You're quicker than your friend. Now we're careful now for a handful of guilders. I happen to have a private and uncut performance of the rape of the subject women, or rather woman, or rather Alfred. Get your skirt on, Alfred. And for 8 you can participate, taking it apart, or both for 10, with encores. Get your skirt off, Alfred. It could have been, it didn't have to be obscene. It could have been a bird out of season dropping bright feather on my shoulder. It could have been a tongueless dwarf standing by the road to point the way. I was prepared. But is it no enigma, no dignity, nothing classic or portentous, only that a comic pornographer and a rabble of prostitutes? You should have caught us in the better time. We were purists then. Onward. Excuse me? Ouch. Alfred. You're not exclusively players then. We're inclusively players, sir. So you give exhibitions? Performances. Yes, of course. There's more money in that, is there? There's more trade, sir. Times being what they are. Yes, indifferent.